I suffered from depression since I was 11 years old. I had developed psoriasis on my elbows and down my arms and from my knees and like on my ankles just from kind of the stress of everything. I, tried different medicines, nothing really was helpful, and it was just something that I thought I was going to live with. I tried the happy lamps, tried all those different things, hoping that something was going to help. In 2017, I moved here to Denver, and I started with a new mentor, and I was in her office one day, hysterically crying, saying how much I hated feeling the way that I felt and wish I could feel something different. And she recommended that I pick up Dr. Joe's book, Changing the Habits of Being Yourself. I really connected with it, and I started the meditations, just started with 20 minutes a day, just the morning meditations, and continued going for over a year and a half, constantly looking to see, when is the next advanced retreat. In that time span, gave birth to my daughter. I had a very, very hard, quite terrible pregnancy. I developed a thyroid disorder. I had gained a bunch of weight and was just really unhappy and was having a hard time, even though I had, so many beautiful things in my life. After that year and a half of doing Dr. Joe's work, I started to realize that, my psoriasis doesn't look quite as bad as it used to. I haven't really had those flare-ups that I used to have. And when was the last time that I had to take a full week off because I was depressed? It'd been some time. So I was able to really see, even before I'd made it to the advanced retreat, that things were getting better. I came to Cancun in February of 2021, and I said, I feel so much better. I don't know if I need my thyroid medication, but my doctor was obviously skeptical, and I consulted with a few different people, and they said, why don't you just keep taking it a few times a week, if you're not sure, if they're not sure about how your blood tests are looking. So I was like, okay, no problem. So I went to the Denver event, and I was in one of the Blessing of the Energy Center meditations, and I had a golden light come with a ton of warmth hanging out first in my heart and then in my throat before moving up, and I got a voice that said, you don't have to worry about your thyroid anymore. You don't have to worry about that anymore. And actually, you never need to worry about anything. There's never a reason to be worried about anything. There's no reason to fear. And that was the end of the meditation. And I have my official blood test coming up. So I think the point is that, everybody always told me, you can't you can't fix a thyroid issue. That's not something that, people do. But somehow, it is something that I've done, and it is something that I do. And, I've fixed my depression, and I've fixed my psoriasis. It was definitely meditation. But I think more importantly, I think it was the sticking with it. I think that, even though there were times last year when I stopped, because I, went unconscious and I returned back to kind of old habits, just still getting back on the horse, even though I had stopped for a while, and knowing how important it was, and knowing that my family was seeing a change in me. I think that's what primed me for being able to really have the impact and the healing that I've had at these retreats, is the fact that I continued on with the work and kept doing that work. And the changing box is being able to really visualize that specific thing, that one thing that, if that changed tomorrow, that's the thing that really felt like it would really bring you up to the next level. And even if you were short on time at that time and you needed to make it up, having 35 minutes to really focus on what you needed to focus on is my favorite part, for sure. having a way that intersection between science and, you know, spirituality. Like, I know that he doesn't say the word chakra, he doesn't say the word like kundalini, you know, breath, you know, but I recognize that like these are old teachings that he's modernizing in a way where we're able to digest it, right? His thing, right? You know, science is the modern language of mysticism. Like, I think that's perfect. Like, that it makes so much sense.